Let's talk about an Appalachian Trail hiker named Heather Anderson. I would expect most people have not heard of her. She thru-hiked the AT in 2015. In some respects, she was very much a typical thru-hiker. She carried a pack along the entire AT, carrying all of her own hiking and camping gear plus her food and water. It wasn't until she finished her hike that people would learn she did something no one had ever accomplished. She hiked the entire Appalachian Trail in 54 days, carrying everything she needed with her, with no help from anyone else. She walked an average of 40 miles every day. To put it another way, she made the fastest known unsupported thru-hike of the Appalachian Trail. By comparison, it's true others have walked the entire AT more quickly, but each one had a lot of help, the kind of help Anderson did not have. While Anderson was unsupported, those who moved faster made supported hikes. That means someone would follow these people in a motor vehicle, typically dropping them off on the trail in the morning and picking them up off the trail at the end of each day. This eliminated the need for those people to carry a full load of gear and enough food to last several days. I identify with Anderson because she is a long-distance backpacker. I am absolutely amazed at what she did and very interested in how she did it. I was even more amazed to read she also holds the fastest known time for an unsupported thru-hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. My goal here, in part, is to help spread the word about her Appalachian Trail accomplishment. During her hike, she didn't tell anybody she was attempting to move so far so quickly. For this reason, news coverage about her hike hasn't been as extensive as it might have been. In the description, I have put links to news stories about her hike, plus her Facebook page, her business's Facebook page, and her gear list. For the purposes of this video, her gear list is our main interest. Her basic pack load, without food or water, weighed just under 9.5 pounds. It is true a lot of people hike the AT for a lot of different reasons, and not everyone is in a hurry. But if a hiker has the goal of covering long distances in a timely manner, it's hard to imagine more vivid evidence of how a light load can help accomplish that. As I have said before, a lighter load reduces fatigue, increases endurance, and reduces the odds of injury. It's unlikely the average AT hiker would want to imitate Anderson's approach 100%, but it's also true that a number of items in her gear list would be practical choices for anyone. It's clear to me that a lot of thought and experience were behind the gear selections she made, and those selections reflect her goal of moving quickly and efficiently. Let's talk about her main items of gear first. Her pack was a Gorilla ultralight pack. She modified it and removed its aluminum stays. It weighed 20 ounces and is rated for a 30-pound load. Her tent was a Z-Pax Soloplex weighing 16 ounces. This is made of Cuban fiber, so it's expensive. The Z-Pax website lists a price of $535 in late 2015. She used a 1.6-ounce polycryo ground sheet under her tent. She also used a Z-Pax sleeping bag, which has a $390 price tag according to the Z-Pax website. These prices remind me of my decision to spend more than $300 for a Western Mountaineering Highlight sleeping bag. In another video, I told how I struggled with the decision to spend that much money, but I did it to keep my pack weight down. Anderson also used a Climate sleeping pad that weighed 6 ounces. The only thing I saw on the Climate website that matches that weight is an Inertia X Light inflatable pad. This is a 3/4 inflatable pad with strategically placed holes in it. It's designed to give you support in areas where you need it, and the open places minimize support in areas where you don't. She also carried an ultralight torso sleeping pad that weighed 4.6 ounces. That's not a brand name, as near as I can tell. She might have modified a brand name pad to get that weight. She used a pair of LT4 carbon trekking poles with a total weight of 8.2 ounces, and that is very light. The trekking poles I have used weigh twice that. For water, she used an Ultimate Direction 70-ounce hydration bladder with a Sawyer inline filter, plus a bottle and a back flush syringe. Those items totaled 13 ounces. Anderson hiked southbound, and that was a smart decision that helped her meet her goal. Southbound thru hikers usually start in June or July. That means Anderson didn't need the kind of cold weather clothing that a northbound thru hiker would need in March. Her packed clothing included fleece pants and shirt for sleeping, a pair of ultra calf-length compression socks, an outdoor research rain jacket, a Patagonia Houdini jacket, a pair of fleece gloves, a balaclava made by turtle fur, and a pair of Engine Run or RUN socks. She also listed a poncho weighing 1.2 ounces. I have no idea what kind of poncho that would be unless it was one of the semi-disposable items often seen in discount stores. A silicone nylon poncho, for example, would weigh far in excess of 1.2 ounces. She didn't include any spare hiking clothes in her list, but in most of the photos I've seen, she was wearing what looked like a sleeveless pull-over dress on the AT. I am sure this type of apparel has a well-known name, but I am an ignorant man, so I apologize that I don't know the proper term. Whatever it's called, I would imagine that if she carried a spare, it didn't weigh much at all. For a waterproof pack liner, she carried a 2.2-ounce trash compactor bag, and she also used a 3.4-ounce Granite Gear pack cover. Because she didn't use a large sil nylon poncho, she would have needed these items. Another interesting detail of her hike is that she spent practically no time in towns. She mailed her food in advance to spots along the way and picked the food up as she arrived at those places. This system is called mail dropping. I have not talked about mail drops before, but you can read a lot about them at the White Blaze Forum website. The link is in the description. Anderson's gear list includes a Lexan spoon. One story I read said she ate snack food pre-portioned into small meals. That would mean she needed no stove and no cookpot. She also carried many of the usual small items common among most hikers. She had a small pocket knife, toothpaste and brush, floss, Neosporin, Imodium, hand sanitizer, sunscreen, bug spray, a headlamp, etc. Her gear list also included a 10-ounce smartphone and charger. One thing I should point out is that the Appalachian Trail Conservancy does not recognize AT speed records in any official way. So, the technical term for Anderson's accomplishment is the fastest known time for an unsupported or self-supported hiker. It's also true the Conservancy makes no distinction between those who carry a pack and those who don't. Personally, however, I do make that distinction, in the sense that there's a huge difference between carrying your own stuff for 2,100 miles or having a motor vehicle waiting for you at the end of every day. Those of us who have hiked hundreds of miles on the AT can understand the endurance, stamina, and determination it took for Anderson to complete that hike. I respect her greatly for this amazing accomplishment. And with that, we're once again done. Once again, I'd like to give a big thanks to my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. It would be much appreciated. And as always, thanks for watching.